Sports newspaper headlines: Messi, master of the world, Mbappe shines, and Alvarez departs. Scaloni: Ancelotti's comments about Argentina were misunderstood. Erling Haaland's reaction to what Messi is doing at the World Cup. And before the video begins, don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments about what Messi is delivering at the World Cup. And if you're a Messi fan, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Sports newspaper headlines: Messi, master of the world, Mbappe shines, and Alvarez departs. The world's sports newspapers and websites focused on several topics, most notably Lionel Messi in Argentina's win over Austria, Kylian Mbappe's brilliance in France's win over Iraq, and World Cup news. The newspapers also focused on Julian Alvarez's desire to leave Atletico Madrid. Marca. The newspaper focused on Lionel Messi's brilliance during Argentina's win over Austria, and his breaking of the record held by Germany's Klose, the all-time top scorer in World Cup history, and wrote, Messi 18 goals. It also covered Julian Alvarez's statement about his desire to leave Atletico Madrid and wrote, Julian Alvarez, it's best for all parties that I leave. The newspaper focused on the impact of the weather conditions on the match between France and Iraq at the World Cup and wrote, the match resumed after a 2-hour delay due to the storm. It also covered the duck Merlin attacking the Mexican president and wrote, the duck Merlin, who became famous for eating tacos during the World Cup, attacks the Mexican president after becoming the talk of the internet during the tournament. Sport. The newspaper focused on the brilliance of Argentine star Lionel Messi, who became the all-time top scorer at the World Cup, and wrote, the best in history. It also covered Julian Alvarez's statements and wrote, Julian Alvarez, it's best for everyone that I leave. L'Équipe, the newspaper, focused on Kylian Mbappe's brilliance in France's win over Iraq and wrote, Mbappe shines. It also covered Lionel Messi's record, who became the all-time top scorer at the World Cup, and wrote, Master of the World. Al Riyadiyah, Saudi. The newspaper focused on news of the Saudi national team and wrote, before Cape Verde, a lengthy discussion between Al Mashal and Donis, and at dawn, the green resumes and Donis discusses the mistakes. It also covered Al Ittihad and wrote, Conceição demands the full contract. Scaloni. Ancelotti's comments about Argentina were misunderstood. Lionel Scaloni, Argentina's head coach, played down the controversy surrounding the comments of Carlo Ancelotti, Brazil's national team coach, in which he addressed the tango style of play during the World Cup. Scaloni confirmed that the Italian coach's comments did not include any direct criticism of the Argentina team, noting that they were understood out of their true context. This comes at a time when the Argentine team continues its preparations to face Austria in the second round of the group stage after starting its campaign in the tournament with a comfortable win over Algeria by a clean 3 goals. Scaloni said, he said these comments in a kind way, and he didn't say anything wrong. In fact, he praised us. He was speaking Italian, Spanish, and Portuguese, a mix of everything. I understood that he was praising us and was not criticizing us. He added, we have to understand what he means when we talk about intensity. The weather is hot and the players are tired. Today the match is played with great intensity in midfield, and that's where many matches are decided. The Argentina coach continued, there are teams considered the underdogs, but they play wonderful football. I think the World Cup will be extremely exciting. He concluded his remarks by saying, Argentina doesn't play with the same intensity, but it delivers a good performance, and it is distinguished by its commitment, perseverance, and strong defense. And I think the stars alone won't decide the World Cup title. Erling Haaland's reaction to what Messi is doing at the World Cup. I know I'm a player defined by his goals. Everyone talks about my numbers, my ability to score, my tally every season, and I'm proud of this. But when I see what Messi is doing in this World Cup, I sit honestly and tell myself that there is a whole other level I haven't reached yet, and I don't know if I'll ever reach it. And this admission doesn't come easily from a striker who is used to being at the top of the numbers. But honesty with oneself is the foundation of any real development. 18 goals in World Cup history. My mind stopped at this number for a long time. I'm a striker, and I always think about goals and numbers. And when I put this number in its true context, I realize the magnitude of what I'm looking at. The World Cup is held every 4 years. A single group stage appearance means only 3 matches, and reaching the final means 7 matches. And Messi carries 18 goals across multiple appearances that began many, many years ago. This means he maintained this scoring level across 2 decades in the toughest football tournament on the planet, and breaking Klose's record, which had stood since 2014, adds a historic dimension to this achievement that cannot be ignored. And I score in every tournament I play with Norway, but I know that reaching this number at the World Cup specifically requires things that go beyond mere individual talent. It requires consistency over decades. It requires a body that endures the harshest pressures in the harshest moments. And it requires a mind that stays clear no matter how high the expectations pile up and how heavy the responsibilities become. And these 3 things combined are very rare, even among the greatest players. What impresses me even more is that he did this while not being a classical striker in the traditional sense. I'm an outright striker who lives in the penalty area, building all my movements to find the right angle to score. That's my specialty, and that's what I do. But Messi creates plays, distributes passes, leads attacks, drops back to receive, creates space for others. And with all of this, he remains the all-time top scorer in World Cup history. This astonishing contradiction is what makes him truly unique, because strikers usually choose. They choose between scoring and creating goals. Messi doesn't choose. He does both at the same time and at the same level. What he did tonight against Austria has a very special character. He missed a penalty at the start, and I know the weight of this moment well because I've been through similar moments. The miss stays in your head, occupying part of your thinking during the match. But Messi acted as if nothing had happened. He continued, asked for the ball, and scored 2 goals. This ability to neutralize an individual failure and move forward with the same calm and focus is a quality you don't find in many, and I learn from it every time I see it. In this World Cup, I'm scoring with Norway and trying to lead my team as far as possible, and when I score the goals and see my number rise, I feel real joy. But at the same time, I see Messi scoring 5 goals in 2 matches and breaking 2 great historic records in the same week, and I feel something resembling true humility. Because there's a difference between being a great striker and being Lionel Messi. And this difference appears very clearly when you put the numbers side by side. The goal that drives me is to be the best in the world, to leave a mark in the history of this game, and I'm confident I'm walking the right path toward this goal. But Messi reminds me in every match that the road is long and that true greatness is not measured only by an exceptional season or a record in a single league. It's measured by what you build over 20 years and by how you perform in the biggest moments. And Messi tested this in the hardest moments possible and succeeded every time. Messi and I both scored 2 goals in the second round, and this coincidence makes me think about the comparison in a different way. My goals came in my usual way, with the right positioning in the penalty area, with the head, with power. Messi's goals came in his own way, with intelligence, with reading the game, with the strange calm he possesses in the hardest moments. We both score, but with 2 completely different philosophies. And this diversity in scoring methods is what makes football beautiful and exciting to analyze. In Norway, I grew up watching Messi at Barcelona. The family would gather to watch his matches. This isn't just talk. The truth of my life is that I played with a ball in the backyard trying to imitate some of his moves, and to now be a player in the same World Cup he's playing in, to have my name mentioned alongside his in talk of goals and achievements, this is something I pause at and feel real gratitude for what I've reached. But gratitude doesn't stop me from ambition, and my ambition is clear. I want to keep developing, to build a career worth remembering across decades, and Messi is the standard I set before me. Not to wish to become exactly like him, but because knowing the magnitude of what a single human can reach in this game keeps my ambition restless. There is a human side to this number that not many talk about. How many times did Messi lose hope with Argentina before 2022? How many times did he exit the World Cup or Copa America with a painful loss? How many times did everyone wonder whether he would achieve this dream? And every time, he came back. Every time, he continued. Every time, he said, football isn't done with me yet. And the number he carries today is the accumulation of all this determination and persistence over 2.5 decades. 18 wins at the World Cup, 18 goals, 5 goals in the first 2 matches, top scorer in the tournament. These are numbers that don't come together in any other player in the history of this game, and I, who love numbers more than many, say in all honesty, these are numbers of a completely different category, a category with no name except the name of one man. Congratulations, Leo, on everything you're doing in this World Cup. From a player trying to leave his own mark in the history of this game, so full respect to the one who set the highest standard that makes everyone's ambition greater.